Hi, it's Mr. Bennett here. In today's video, we're just going to quickly look at exercise 5D5 and 5D6 to do with inflation. And we've already did a question very similar to that in the previous video, but I thought I'd go through a couple of examples. Now, in your textbook, example 24 goes through one of these and shows you pretty good setting out in terms of what you have to do. So the first question is calculate the amount of the investment. So that's just using your TVM problem solver. Alright, so putting in the values of N, I, PV, payment 0, your payments per year, and finding out your future value of your investment. Okay, works out to be 11,000 there. Then we have to take the effects of inflation. Alright, so inflation is at 2.5% for the 3 years. So technically, $10,000 buys the same as $768.91 in 3 years' time. So the real increase in your investment over 3 years is really only $985.42. Right, the last part of that is to calculate the real average return. So we're looking at the annual percentage increase. So what we do is we put into where our present value is, we put in dollar values what it would be worth in 3 years' time. We keep our future value the same, and we make it one payment per year, and we have 3 payments. Right, and then we work out what our N value, I value is, and that works out to be 9.676. So let's have a go at doing an example here. So Jordan leaves $5,000 in account, paying 4.15% per annum, compounded annually for 2 years. Inflation runs at 3.5% per annum in 1 year and 5.2% in the second year. What's the real value of the 5,000 increase or decrease? So if we put that information to our calculator, ends to interest rates 4.15%, putting in $5,000, so minus 5,000. Okay, one payment per year. So that works out to be $5,423.61. And I do that calculation. Now, when we have to take into account inflation, we want to see what that value is worth in 2 years' time if it was $5,000. So we have to times that by 1.035, 1.052, because that's 5.2%, 3.5%. And that works out to be $5,444.10. Now, in effect, having that money in the bank and getting 4.15%, right, you can see that that buys less money in 2 years than it would have bought 2 years ago. Right? So effectively, that investment's lost. You've actually lost some money. You've lost buying power with that investment. Does that make sense? So you're about $20 odd off of breaking even. So that's certainly something you go, well, that doesn't make sense. It's not a good investment. I need to invest my money somewhere else. Alright, so you've got a few questions in 5D5 similar to this. This is the process that you've got to do. You've got to work out what the future value of that money's worth to see if you actually made an increase in your money. Second type of question is exercise 5D6. So example 25 goes through this. So in 2001, 4,000 was invested. Deposit for 5 years at 5.3%. Inflation over that period was 3.6%. Calculate the amount in the account after 5 years. Well, that's a straightforward thing to do on our calculator. 5,210. And then to work out what the value in $2001, what we have to do is that value divided by the inflation rate to the power of 5, because it's 5 years. So effectively, that $4,000 has, in 5 years' time, really, you've earned $366.12. So let's have a go at a question like that. So Mandy invests $15,000 in 2002 in the term deposit for 3 years at 6.15%, compounded quarterly. Inflation over that period is 4.3%. Calculate the amount in the account after 3 years. So the first thing we're going to do is 3 years, 4 payments is 12. Right, interest rate's 6.15%. We put in 15,000 right? And we're having 4 payments per year. That means that the future value of that investment 3 years' time is going to be 18,000. Now, to work out what that equates to in $2002, what we have to do is that value divided by 1.043 to the power 3 because it's 3 years. So that means in equivalent $2002, that's really worth $15,876.55. Right? So you get a bit of an idea about the buying power of your money really over a period of time. So in these questions, that's what we're looking for. We're actually looking for the buying power of the money that you actually earn. Right? So these questions don't take into account taxation, but they do certainly take into account inflation. Anyway, have a go at these 2 exercises, and if you need some help, make sure you ask your teacher.